How can you get 2 free Disney park tickets next year? What new rides are getting ready to come to the parks? And where can you find secret indoor seating for outdoor restaurants? We've got everything you need to know before you go to Disney World right here today on DFB Guide. Hey everybody, it's AJ for Disney Food Blog. So today's video has become one of my new favorites already because I know just how crucial it's going to be for not just first-time guests, but for those who keep coming back to Disney year after year too. Let's dive into some really big, really obscure, and really important things you need to know before you go to Disney World. Okay, so wait times. You know, those lovely numbers flashing out in front of the entrance for each ride? Well, we found that in some cases, posted wait times are more like rough estimates rather than cold, hard truth. One of the best examples I have to illustrate this is Pete's Silly Sideshow over in Magic Kingdom. So Pete's often projects wait times that are much higher than they actually are. But because there's technically 2 lines inside the sideshow, one for Minnie and Daisy, one for Goofy and Donald, you might step inside the tent and see that one or maybe even both of the lines are a lot shorter than what's being listed on the outside of the tent. So it's always worth taking a quick peek inside just to see what the state of the queues actually look like. So maybe you're new to Disney World and you're scouring the Disney forums and blogs and the DFB website too, and you're apt to come across some common Disney acronyms. But what do these acronyms stand for and why are they important? I'll give you a list of some of the most common Disney acronyms you may come across while preparing for your trip, so you won't be left scratching your head when someone spouts off some random letters at you. Sometimes long ride names can be shortened to just a simple acronym, like how 7DMT is Seven Dwarfs Mine Train in Magic Kingdom. And restaurants can be the same too, like CRT is Cinderella's Royal Table, or BOG stands for Be Our Guest Restaurant, both in Magic Kingdom. Many Disney services also use abbreviations, including ADR, Advanced Dining Reservation, DDP, Disney Dining Plan, LL, Lightning Lane, and MDE, My Disney Experience mobile app. The theme parks might also be referred to by their much shorter names like DAC, Disney's Animal Kingdom, DHS, Disney's Hollywood Studios, and MK, Magic Kingdom. Epcot, of course, is already an acronym. Ever come across an AP? Those are annual pass holders. Or how about a CM? Those are cast members. Those are employees of Disney. Because the after-hours holiday parties can be quite the mouthful to say the full name, you might see Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party referred to as MNSSHP, or Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party as MVMCP. And here's one that'll throw ya. If you ever see farts listed in a post about Epcot, we're more than likely talking about the Festival of the Arts, and not a flatulence sort of situation, but it makes me laugh every time. So picture this, you finally hyped yourself up to ride an attraction like Tower of Terror or Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind, and you get to the front of the line and all of a sudden the panic kicks in and you want to back out. It happens to the best of us. In fact, we got a handful of DFB reporters and writers and editors who have a fear of heights, which is why we're so thankful Disney has chicken exits that allow you to back out of an attraction at the last minute if need be. Don't let the term chicken exit fool you. I know a lot of folks out there might see that term as unsavory, but really these exits are just an alternative escape route that can be used for any reason you might decide to not go on a ride. Let's say you don't want to ride an attraction, but you still want to hang out with your group and see all the immersiveness going on in the queue line. Chicken exits are great because they allow you to wait in the queue and then wait for your party at the end of the attraction. On certain attractions, the chicken exit is also used for rider switch, which allows families to switch riders in and out if a child is too young or too scared or does not meet height requirements. Now you have even told us in the comments before that you've used chicken exits to check out the themed queues but skip the rides due to motion sickness reasons. And you know what? I've done that too, lots of times. So if you ever don't feel comfortable riding an attraction, knowing that a chicken exit exists can help give you peace of mind. I know there were many years that I literally thought I was going to have a heart attack every time I rode Tower of Terror, so I used to go through the line with my friends and just take the chicken exit out, which unfortunately is an elevator. Now here's a strangely specific ride rule that you need to know before you go. Children under the age of 7 must be accompanied by someone over the age of 14 in order to board an attraction to ensure the safety of all riders. So if you're a single parent heading to the parks with 2 kids, both under the age of 7, you'll have to be in the ride vehicles with your kids, otherwise they won't be able to ride. Or if you're like my kid, you can just ditch the rides altogether and ride Disney's transportation. We spent many days just riding the Disney buses back and forth and back and forth, and then when the Skyliner came around, we would ride the Skyliner over and over and over again. So maybe you can save money on park tickets altogether. It seems the ye old Christmas shop has a new resident living on the second floor. Recently, when we were visiting Magic Kingdom, we noticed that Ichabod Crane has moved into the building. In case you don't know who poor Icky is, Mr. Crane is the main character from Disney's 1949 short film, The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, which is fitting because you can visit Sleepy Hollow refreshments right across the way from the ye old Christmas shop to order funnel cakes and Mickey waffles. Watching The Legend of Sleepy Hollow is a Bria Halloween tradition, right up there with rewatching all of the Over the Garden Wall series each year, so if you and Bria have that in common, please let her know in the comments. She'll be very excited. Now, if you're looking to catch Ichabod, you'll need to wait until the sun sets. Once it's dark, his shadow comes moseying past the window about every 5 minutes. The show goes on for about 1 minute and 40 seconds before he disappears again. You'll know when he's about to reappear when the window starts to glow blue. A blue glow equals Ichabod Crane's imminent arrival. Okay, this just in. Orlando International Airport just launched a free online rewards program that offers extra perks when you shop and eat and park at the airport. The new program is called MCO Rewards, and it allows both airport customers and employees to claim perks like airline miles, gift cards, and cashback rewards in return for airport spending when they link a credit or debit card to the free program. In addition to offering benefits to both customers and employees, the new program will also offer customized feedback to the airport, which can be used by the Greater Orlando Aviation Authority to further cater airport offerings to your preferences. To enroll in this free program, visit the MCO Rewards website and click the Sign Up Now button. From there, you can securely link your credit card or debit card by clicking the Wallet button and begin earning points. Now, once your card's been linked to the program, you'll automatically earn points for dining and shopping and parking at the airport. Plus, the rewards program is also valid at more than 100 other airports in the Glide Path CX network. And how can you actually use your points? Just redeem your rewards by clicking the Redeem button at the top of the homepage. Disney World announced a while back that in 2025, those staying at Disney hotels, including Disney Vacation Club properties, will receive free admission to a Disney World water park on their check-in day. But what if you want to really take advantage of this perk next year and make sure you can be at the water park all day long? Then you're going to want to hack the system. A Disney cast member recently confirmed for us that if you have a split stay in 2025, meaning you're splitting your Disney World vacation between 2 different Disney hotels, then you'll be able to use the complimentary water park admission on both of your check-in days. So for example, you can check into Pop Century on a Sunday and then use your water park admission that day, but if you check out of Pop and move to Coronado Springs on Wednesday, you'll be able to go to the water park again on that same Wednesday. By the way, which water park do you think has better theming, Typhoon Lagoon or Blizzard Beach? Let me know in the comments. And if you stay Stormalong Bay, which is the Yacht and Beach Club's main feature pool, then I don't blame you. Honestly, I'd probably pick that one too if I chose to stay at Yacht and Beach during all my Disney trips, except, well, Stormalong is about to close for that extended 6-month refurb from January to June 2025. But I don't want to think about that right now, so we'll move on. But split stays aren't always all that in a bag of chips. You know how Disney World offers reservation windows, where you'll be able to begin selecting your dining reservation 60 days out from your check-in day? Yeah, that rule gets a little dicey when considering split stays. According to the Disney website, guests who are using split stays will have multiple booking windows. So for instance, beginning 60 days before your first check-in date, you can reserve dining and other select experiences for the length of your first stay. And then when it's 60 days before your second check-in date, you can start to book advanced dining reservations for round 2. Split stays do not affect Lightning Lane booking windows though, so you'll be able to make all of those Lightning Lane reservations 7 days out from the arrival of your first check-in day. From classic rides that need a facelift, to new experiences, to resorts in need of major TLC, Disney always has some sort of refurbishment project that they're working on. So how can you make sure you're not caught off guard by extended closures as a result of Disney's good intentions of sprucing up the property? You can check on recent closures and refurbishments and construction right on the Disney World website. Go to the main page for the hotel or the ride or the restaurant in question, and you'll be able to see toward the top of the screen in orange text if there's any construction notifications you need to be aware of. You'll also be able to see ride closures on the Disney World calendar page. We've also got a page on the DFB website that lists all of Disney World's current construction projects too. That way you don't have to make it a whole scavenger hunt when you're trying to find out what's closed and what's not. Type in DisneyFoodblog.com and closures and construction in your Google search engine, and our post of updates is going to pop up right at the top of the page. Go ahead and save it, bookmark it, so you can always check back for every Disney trip. For those of you who aren't planning on going to Magic Kingdom and riding People Mover 37.5 times because you'll probably at least be evacuated once, then I want to let you in on a little secret. DFB is actually psychic and knows when the lightning lane prices will drop and spike. Okay, so that's kind of a lie. Not the knowing lightning lane price patterns part, but the psychic part, because technically anyone can follow those lightning lane price patterns, psychic or not. Back in the Genie Plus days, you didn't really know how much you were going to pay for Genie Plus or individual lightning lanes until the day of your park visit. But now, because the new lightning lane multi-pass and single pass systems, which allow you to pre-select a certain number of lightning lanes before your trip, are in place, you can now see those multi and single pass prices in advance. To check on those lightning lane prices, go to the main page on your My Disney Experience app and tap on the purchase button right underneath the lightning lane header. Then select the date you're interested in learning more about. Typically, you should be able to see lightning lane prices listed a few weeks out. Once you tap on a certain date, select the park that you'll want to secure lightning lanes for, since multi-pass pricing is determined not just by the day you visit, but by the park as well. And the lightning lane prices should be all listed out for you, plain as day. Oh, you know us. We're all about the Disney food here on Disney Food Blog, so let's look at some of the restaurants we are so excited to see welcomed into the Disney World dining scene, whether it be in the near or distant future. First and foremost, we've been anticipating the opening of restaurants at Disney's Boardwalk Inn for a good long while now. Blue Ribbon Corn Dogs is now open on the boardwalk with their classic and zany corn dog creations. Same thing goes for Boardwalk Inn's future Cake Bake Shop restaurant. Previously, this location was home to the ESPN Club, but when the new restaurant opens sometime this year, fingers crossed, it'll serve breakfast, lunch, dinner, afternoon tea, baked goods, and champagne over at its champagne bar. Disney's also announced that the Polynesian Village Resort will be getting additional dining locations. Now, the new rooms here are going to open December 17th, 2024 as part of the hotel's massive expansion, but we're not quite sure if the restaurants are opening with those rooms or not. Either way, Polynesian Village food has always been something near and dear to us, so we've set the bar pretty high for whatever the Island Tower is currently cooking up dining-wise. Over in Magic Kingdom, the beloved attraction Pirates of the Caribbean will be getting its own themed lounge. According to Disney, this rambunctious watering hole will offer a welcoming haven for all pirate kind, big and small, and everyone in between. The lounge is scheduled to open later on in 2025, but the construction is happening now. But that's not the only new lounge coming to the parks in 2025. A newly announced lounge themed around Spaceship Earth will also be coming to Epcot. The decor of this lounge will draw inspiration from the ride's unique geodesic sphere to offer a zen space for families filled with rich textures and warm metallic tones, giving it a mysterious and elegant intimacy. It also looks like there's going to be fireworks views here. Was anyone else a Dr. Horrible sing-along blog fan back in the day? Because the words laundry day always make me feel like breaking out into song. If you know, you know. Okay, sorry, got sidetracked. Let's talk about laundry at the Disney resorts. Each Disney hotel has a laundry facility for guests to use, at least one, sometimes more, if they need to wash a load in the middle of their trip. And thanks to the free-to-use Laundry View website, you'll also be notified when your laundry is ready to either be switched to the dryers or picked up altogether. It's very, very, very useful. You don't need to download or create a login to use Laundry View since it's automatically synced to the guest laundry facilities at each Disney World resort. All you have to do is open the website and type in your resort name. Then, once you've set up a mobile alert for your laundry, you can relax and watch some TV back at your room or go swimming with the fam or even grab a snack. Whatever you do not have to just sit in the laundry room waiting for your clothes to get all squeaky clean. But if you're one of those folks that wants to get away from your family for an hour, just tell them that you have to sit in there. That's okay. Okay, I don't know who needs to hear this, but vending machine diapers are a thing. Yep, they are, to the relief of parents and guardians everywhere. You can actually get a whole diaper changing kit for your kid from one of Animal Kingdom's vending machines over at the conservation station. Each diaper changing kit costs $3.50 and comes with 2 diapers plus wipes, but if you happen to need more wipes, because blowouts happen, even to good babies, then you can find a pack of 16 available for purchase in the same machine as well. So the premise behind fuel rods is simple. You visit a kiosk, you buy a fully charged battery pack rod, and you swap it out for another fully charged one for free once you've used up all the juice in that initial battery pack. At least that's how it works at Disney World. Now, the problem with fuel rods back in the day is that you never knew when you needed to start being on the lookout for another fuel rod kiosk, since there was no indicator for how much juice your current rod actually had remaining. Hark, that is no longer a problem. Not anymore. On a recent swap, we were surprised to find that our familiar fuel rods had a different look to them. The latest rods we swapped out came with a small button and light up indicators. We didn't know exactly how this worked at first, like if we needed to press the button before charging or what, but as soon as we plugged in our charging cord into the fuel rod, we discovered that the button was just to make the lights glow on the battery indicator. This tiny upgrade is a tremendous help when determining how close you are to draining the last bit of your fuel rod's energy, so you'll know when it's time to swap it out for another one. Unfortunately, this upgrade did come with a bit of a price hike, so expect your initial fuel rod purchase to now cost $38 instead of $30. Little money-saving hack for you though, a 2-pack of fuel rods is still much cheaper to purchase on Amazon ahead of your trip rather than purchasing one in the parks, since you'll be charged $35 for both on Amazon instead of $38 for one. Okay, now guess what? Disney World is going to be busy over the next few years. They are getting 8 brand new rides. So let's quickly review what rides we can look forward to seeing pop up in the future. We don't know much about the new Villains Land for Magic Kingdom just yet, but we do know it will house not 1 but 2 new attractions for guests to enjoy. I think if you look at the concept art, you can see at least 1 coaster in there too, which is very cool. A new Cars Land, aka Radiator Springs West, will be added to Magic Kingdom 2 as an extension of Frontierland. Now this new area is going to house 2 new rides. The first is described as a thrilling rally race through the mountains, where you'll take on wild terrain as you race across the landscape, climbing mountain trails, dodging geysers, and Mater's favorite, splashing through the mud holes. Now, the other ride is described as being more for the whole family, so that smaller racers can enjoy it as well. Maybe this is like a Mater's Junkyard Jamboree kind of thing that they have over in DCA. I don't know. We'll see. Now, also, a whole new land was announced for Disney's Hollywood Studios, Monsters, Inc. land. It's going to be Monstropolis. Construction won't begin on that until 2026, but we do know that it'll include Disney's first ever suspended coaster that'll take you through the Laugh Factory, where, yep, you'll get to soar across the rails on a door, just like Mike and Sully do in the film. Now, over in Animal Kingdom, Dinosaur is going to be replaced by an Indiana Jones attraction, but it'll be a slightly different attraction than what you find in Disneyland. This new ride will take guests inside a Mayan temple for all the new thrills. Along with Indy, an Encanto-themed attraction will also be in this new park area. The attraction will take guests through the casita and allow everyone to see the members of the Madrigal family. Finally, a carousel was also announced for this new Animal Kingdom area. It's probably going to replace Triceratops Spin. The carousel's backstory is that the resident wood carver of Pueblo Esperanza carved his favorite animals to carefully craft this ride. Now, those are just the rides that are coming. There are also new shows. There's reimaginings of old rides. There's so much to talk about right now. But all this new stuff is exciting, but in order to make these new things happen, Disney's got to make room for him. And that means some of those classic park lands will have to be replaced. Dino Land USA will be officially closing to make way for the new Tropical Americas section of Animal Kingdom in 2027. That's Pueblo Esperanza that we mentioned before. And if you're a big fan of It's Tough to Be a Bug, you're going to want to swing by to catch one more show before it closes to transform into Zootopia Better Together in late 2025. While the Rivers of America and Tom Sawyer Island sections of Magic Kingdom are going to be what's reimagined in order to bring Cars Land to life. Construction on this new area is expected to begin in early 2025, meaning you still have a little time to say goodbye to this area of Frontierland, and you still have a bit of time to say goodbye to Dino Land USA as well. By the way, we're always looking to the future here on DFB, so we've already got a 2025 playlist up on our channel for all of you who are like us and like to be in the know about things before they actually happen. Okay, so reminder, pool hopping is not allowed. Disney has been really cracking down on the no pool hopping rules lately, especially over at Caribbean Beach Resort. At Disney's Caribbean Beach, wristbands are now required to use the Fuentes del Moro pool, which is the resort's feature pool located next to the lobby. It's the one with all the cannons and very cool Spanish stuff. A cast member will be located near the pool entrance to check guests as they come in, and you'll need to prove that you're staying at Caribbean Beach Resort for your family to receive wristbands to enter the pool area. Pool hopping has been a no-go for hotel guests and people who aren't staying at hotels for a good long while, but the only exceptions to this rule are that All-Star Resort guests can use any of the All-Star Resort pools for music, movies, and sports, and Port Orleans Riverside and French Quarter also share pools between their hotel guests. Yacht and beach clubs also share Stormalong Bay, along with 3 other less themed pools. Okay, heads up, don't throw away your gift cards. We are huge advocates of taking advantage of big store savings by buying discounted Disney gift cards from places like Sam's Club and Costco, Kroger, especially for the fuel rewards, and Target. You can get significant Disney savings just for being a savvy shopper. But here's a tip we don't talk about nearly as often when it comes to Disney gift cards. If you do use Disney gift cards for payment towards your trip or while you're on vacation, you'll want to make sure you don't prematurely toss those cards in the trash. Hold on to them until after you've traveled, because if your plans change and you cancel anything that's refundable, those refunds go back on the original form of payment, which might mean putting money back on your Disney gift cards. All right, heads up. Some hotels may not let you mobile order from their restaurants. Let's say you're heading over to Disney's Grand Floridian Resort, not as a hotel guest, but just as a passerby, and you want to order Gasparilla Island Grill's heavenly house-made macaroni and cheese. Seriously, bury me in that stuff. So, as you make your way to Grand Floridian, you jump on the My Disney Experience app to place that mobile order. Alas, when you search for Gasparilla Island Grill, you might be met with a rather odd message telling you that mobile ordering from Gasparilla is only available to guests staying at Disney's Grand Floridian Resort and Spa. Okay, change of plans. Maybe you decide to check the menu at Contempo Cafe, located at Disney's Contemporary Resort next. But lo, a similar message appears on your app, so what gives? Turns out that on a busy day, it's not so easy to place a mobile order and quickly pick up your food as a non-hotel guest, since more than likely, Disney doesn't want non-resort guests making mobile orders and trying to park their cars in the hotel parking lots that are supposed to be reserved for guests as well as those who are dining at one of the resort's table service restaurants. But of course, you can still visit the restaurant and place your order in person. Keep in mind that mobile order isn't always going to be an option while you're bouncing between hotels, but you can still go to the hotel for free and go to the restaurant. Now, I know what I tell you guys to pack ahead of your Disney trips. I know, but I actually haven't mentioned these 3 things in a while, and I was really wishing for them during my last visit because they would have made my life way easier while I was down there. Item number 1, believe it or not, batteries. My battery-operated keyboard died, and that's dumb when you rely on that little guy to help you get your work done remotely. But batteries aren't just important to have on hand for work-related purposes. You might need them for a new toy that your kid gets in one of the gift shops, or to juice up your portable fan again when it dies on you. The list goes on and on. So have some AA's or AAA's on hand, or both, just in case you need them. And if you don't bring them, the Disney gift shops do sell them if you're in a pinch and need some fast. Item number 2, a tray. If you are going to Epcot's Food and Wine Festival or any Epcot festival, we always recommend that you bring a tray. It can be a tiny tray, it can be a big tray, depending on how much you want to carry, but it definitely helps when you're planning on ordering multiple items from an Epcot booth. You've only got so many hands to help you juggle all that stuff, so get your little tray. I have like a $5 one from Target. Looks like what you'd use to carry around at school to hold your rectangular pizza and chocolate milk cartons. And the balancing act becomes a whole lot less challenging. And item number 3, scissors. The after hours specialty events of Disney will hook you up with a wristband that proves you're allowed to be there and you can't take it off during the duration of your party time. But after party time, you'll be able to get that sucker off. And I struggled with mine because it was put on snug. I ended up going over to a cast member in the lobby of my resort to ask them to cut it for me, which they happily did, and then my wrist was free. However, if I were to have had my nifty travel size sewing kit handy, I always bring it. I don't know why I didn't have it that time. And it comes with a tiny pair of scissors as well as a needle and thread and extra buttons, etc. I would have been able to get that wristband off all by myself. Now, I love this tip. This is one of my favorite tips, y'all, and not enough people know about it. Guess what? There are 2 outdoor Epcot counter service restaurants that have secret indoor seating. The first secret indoor option is at La Cantina de San Angel over in the Mexico Pavilion. Now, sure, this little cantina does have a covered seating area, but covered seating does not always equal cooler dining conditions. So here's where that hack comes in. You can actually pick up your food at La Cantina and sit inside the attached table service restaurant, La Hacienda de San Angel. Yep, sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes La Cantina opens up a section of seating inside La Hacienda so that there's more seating available for everyone who dines at the quick service. So it's always worth checking to see if that indoor section is open during your next visit too. And the second secret indoor option is over at Yorkshire County Fish Shop. The Rose and Crown Dining Room begins service at 4 p.m., but earlier in the day, typically before 3, you can hang out in the dining room without a dining reservation if you purchase a basket of fish and chips from the nearby Yorkshire County Fish Shop window. After you make your fish and chips purchase, walk over to the Rose and Crown Dining Room and let a nearby cast member know that you'd like a place to sit. The area is normally pretty full when the restaurant officially opens at 4, but during the day you can relax inside without a dinner reservation. And here's a bonus piece of advice for you. We recently confirmed with cast members that you are more than welcome to eat inside the Seas exhibit, meaning you can take your quick service meal or festival eats over to the Aquariums to chow down. That's over in World Nature, without having to book a full table service at Coral Reef. Now, there's a good chance you've been inside the parks before and walked right on past a Disney mailbox. These mailboxes aren't just for show. They're actually real working mailboxes that you can use to send postcards or letters back home to your friends and family and to drop them a quick wish you were here message. In Magic Kingdom, you can typically find mailboxes underneath the Main Street train station on Main Street, USA, near City Hall, and by Frontier Trading Post. In Epcot and Disney's Animal Kingdom, you can typically find a mailbox near the front entrances, and in Disney's Hollywood Studios, you'll find mailboxes on Sunset Boulevard and over by the front entrance. This can, and does occasionally, change, however, so you might have to search a bit during your visit. So let's say you find yourself in a park with a postcard and you want to mail it, but you don't have any stamp. No worries, you can purchase stamps inside Disney World from a variety of locations, including Main Street Chamber of Commerce and Magic Kingdom, Art of Disney and Epcot, Celebrity 5 and 10 and Hollywood Studios, and the Outpost shop at Animal Kingdom. I know, a lot of you didn't know that, right? That you could buy stamps in the parks? This is why you're here at DFB Guide.
Hey everyone, Bria here. So I actually wrote this point right before my last trip to Disney, and so I was hyper aware of all the mailboxes that even existed around the Disney lobbies. I was like, there's a mailbox, and there's a mailbox, and there's a mailbox, and I really wanted to send AJ a letter. No, scratch that. I wanted to send AJ a picture of me eating an unfrosted strawberry Pop-Tart and living my best life. Because we've had this argument lately where she doesn't think that unfrosted Pop-Tarts deserve to exist, and I personally prefer the unfrosted type. What do you guys think? Hashtag justice for naked Pop-Tarts. Sorry, side rant. Moving on.
Now, we've got a lot of new shirt styles up on the dfbstore.com website right now that are really cute and comfy and customizable, meaning you can pick your color, your size, and your style. And the best part about these shirts, you're not going to find them for sale at Disney, so you'll be sporting threads that are truly one of a kind. You might even find a few of our shirts on sale at the moment, but you didn't hear that from me. And by the way, if you haven't seen our Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow shirt, you've got to check it out. It is so great and big and beautiful. Okay, there's a very important step you should take before it's time to join a ride's virtual queue, if one of the rides you're wanting to experience only uses a virtual queue. Up to an hour before a virtual queue opens, starting at 7 a.m., you can confirm your party in the My Disney Experience app so that you don't have to worry about that crucial step when it's go time. And trust me, that is a big deal, because virtual queues get filled up really fast, and if you're just sitting there picking your party, then you're going to miss out on getting your spot in the VQ. Just pick the ride you want the virtual queue for, tap the Join Virtual Queue button, and then tap Confirm Your Party. At this point, you can choose from the list of family and friends who are linked to your account, and then when the virtual queues open at exactly 7 a.m., all you have to worry about is tapping the Join Virtual Queue button and nothing else. Did you miss your window of opportunity? Don't fret just yet. You'll have another chance to join the virtual queue when you're inside the park at 1 p.m. There is one important rule you need to consider when it comes to renting a Disney-owned stroller or ECV or wheelchair for your park days. Your Disney stroller cannot go everywhere that you go. This means that if you plan on visiting multiple parks in one day, you'll have to return rental item number 1 as you leave the first park and then pick up rental item number 2 at the next park. Don't worry, you won't have to pay twice. Just show a cast member your rental receipt from the first park and they'll hook you up with a new set of wheels. Now, you know it would be really handy to have with you before and during your Disney World vacation? Some Disney World planning worksheets with fill-in-the-blank pages and helpful trip timelines and packing lists and tons of other useful tricks. Good thing we've got those already created and ready to send your way for absolutely $0. Go ahead and scan the QR code you see on the screen now or head to disneyfoodblog.com/DisneyPlans and we'll send you your Disney World planning worksheets today. I love these. I have used these for years. You feel such a sense of accomplishment and organization when you use them. And again, they're totally free. We've got it all sorted out for you. So go ahead and check out disneyfoodblog.com/DisneyPlans and we'll get them over to you. Lots of folks choose to either drive to Disney World or rent a car when they arrive at Orlando International Airport. So if you're driving around the most magical place on Earth, but you start experiencing car troubles that are anything but magical, Disney has their very own car care center where they can service your car. You can also rent cars through this service as well if you didn't rent one at the airport already. That's handy if you're just going to go to Universal for like one day and you just need a car to drive over there. Or you're going to the beach for like a weekend or something like that. Now, if you do have your car service, the Car Care Center does offer complimentary shuttle transportation to and from the Transportation and Ticket Center, so you can still try to salvage your day at the parks while Disney handles your fixer-upper. And I have used these services. I've had my car bomb out and had to have it fixed at the Car Care Center, and I've rented a car at the Car Care Center. Both of these things run very, very smoothly there. I know I talked about the whole no pool hopping thing earlier, but when it comes to Disney's pool bars, that's potentially a different playing field. Most Disney pool bars are situated outside of the actual pool gates specifically so that all guests can enjoy them. So while you can't enjoy your cocktail and burger next to the pool, you can still enjoy the pool bar area itself. And let me tell you, some of Disney's pool bars are actually tastier than the theme park quick services and even some of the hotel quick services. Some of our favorite pool bars to stop by for a refreshing drink and quick bite are Geyser Point Bar and Grill at Wilderness Lodge. That's a great place to go at sunset. Banana Cabana at Caribbean Beach. Don't forget to get the bread pudding there. Bar Riva at Riviera Resort. Bria says she will die on this hill because she says this is the most underrated place to eat and drink at Disney World. And Hurricane Hannah's at Beach Club. Did you know that many of Disney's buses offer charging ports below the seats so you can charge your phone while you're en route? It's true. Just take a moment when you're boarding the bus to glance below your seat and check to see if the bus is outfitted to allow you to charge on the go. You will have to supply your own charging cords, but oh my goodness, it is so handy to have this. These newer buses also have Wi-Fi, so it's a great time to modify your lightning lanes or dining reservations if you need to. If your family is more of the outdoorsy, woodsy, sporty type, then you might want to dedicate a full day to just explore all the different offerings over at Fort Wilderness alone. Or it's also, even if your family's not outdoorsy or woodsy or sporty, you might just need a break from the parks. So here you can join Chip and Dale during that totally free campfire sing-along. This is amazing. This is the only place that you can go see a Disney character completely for free, guaranteed. And that happens between 7:30 and 9:30 p.m. You can sign up for an archery class. That's $49 per person. You can visit Tri-Circle D Ranch, where you can meet Disney's horses for free between 10 and 5 p.m. daily, or book a trail or carriage ride for an extra fee, or a pony ride specifically for the kiddos. You can go on a guided fishing excursion, much like you can over at a few of the other resorts too, like Caribbean Beach and Contemporary, Grand Floridian, Old Key West, Port Orleans Riverside, Wilderness Lodge, Yacht Club. You can rent a canoe or kayak for $15 per person, or a bike over at the Bike Barn for $9 to $20. You can watch a movie under the stars, which you can also do for free at all the other Disney resorts too, or you can go on a 2-hour wilderness backtrail adventure via a Segway for $90 per person. Several character dining experiences are available for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, like Chef Mickey's at Disney's Contemporary Resort, Cinderella's Royal Table at Magic Kingdom, and the Crystal Palace, also at Magic Kingdom, just to name a few. Now, if you want to book one of these meals strictly for the character meet and greet experiences, which is great because that means you don't have to wait in line for characters when you're in the parks, and the food is just a happy bonus on top of the one-on-one character time, then plan to book your reservations earlier in the morning for breakfast instead of after 11 a.m. The breakfast tends to be the cheapest dining option for these character experiences, since they'll offer up the typical breakfast spread instead of something more unique. But breakfast will still get you filled up, fueled for the park day, and provide lots of hugs and pictures from some of your favorite friends without having to wait in lines in the park. Just make sure you're awake and ready to interact with the characters that early. I've tried interacting with characters while tired before, and bless their hearts, I'm so glad the characters were able to hold a conversation with me, because I certainly wouldn't have been able to hold a conversation with me. Recently, the team here at DFB has been working on updating our DFB Guide to Walt Disney World Dining, which is an excellent resource for planning your upcoming vacation, and it's going to make you feel like we're right there in the parks alongside you. Now, don't worry. I know Disney dining changes all the time, but we've got a great team of book editors who regularly update these books to make sure that the information you're receiving with your purchase is accurate and fresh. Let's give a round of applause for theme park reporters, because we truly couldn't do what we do without their eyes and ears in the parks every single day. Now, if you want to pick up a guide before your next Disney World visit, head over to dfbstore.com. You're already over there to get that Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow t-shirt anyway. And don't forget to type in the code YouTube for some extra savings. Now let's play a little comparison game, shall we? At the Swan and Dolphin hotels, you're within walking distance to Epcot. You're a short boat ride from Hollywood Studios. You can also walk there if you're feeling particularly active. And you have complimentary bus transportation to the parks in Disney Springs. Plus, you'll receive Disney's deluxe resort benefits, including extended evening hours, which allows you to stay in certain parks on certain nights up to 2 hours longer than everybody else. A room at one of these hotels for one night can average between $350 and $500 per night with no discounts, depending on how fancy you'd like to go. You can also use Marriott Bonvoy points to bring down the price too if you're a Marriott Bonvoy member, and of course there's usually some discounts you can use. Now, a similar Disney World hotel would be located on or near Disney's Boardwalk, which puts you within walking distance of Epcot and comes with complimentary transportation to the remainder of the parks in Disney Springs, plus those extended evening hours too. A room at Disney's Boardwalk Inn will typically cost you around $600 per night with no discounts. So what does this little experiment tell us? That staying at the Swan or Dolphin hotels can give you similar deluxe hotel experiences for hundreds of dollars less. For some families, this can be a fantastic way to have the same level of service and luxury amenities from your hotel at a lower price point. So drinking around the world is a fan-made Disney experience that's been around for quite some time now. The goal is to try a specialty drink in all of the 11 World Showcase pavilions in Epcot. Now, before you say anything, that can get really dangerous really fast if you're choosing a cocktail, beer, or wine for each of your drink options. When you're attempting a drinking around the world challenge, make sure to drink responsibly and know your limits, because you do not want to push yourself so hard that you're downright miserable the rest of your trip. If you're going to be visiting Epcot multiple days, split up your challenge between those multiple days to pace yourself better. Also, be sure to stay hydrated. The Florida heat and humidity are no joke, and if you're drinking alcohol, you may not even know you're dehydrated until it's too late. Remember, you can ask for a free cup of water at those quick service locations. Also, be sure to eat and snack well. Drinking alcohol on an empty stomach never goes well, so be sure to grab some food while you're consuming beverages too. Also, I really think that mocktails count toward your drinking around the world tally, and every pavilion should have a different mocktail or other type of non-alcoholic beverage for you to try, even if it's just their festival booth. Some of our favorite specialty non-alcoholic beverages that we like to pick up around the World Showcase are the iced mint tea at Oasis Sweets and Sips in the Morocco Pavilion, the fun-flavored Ramune sodas at the Mitsukoshi Department Store in the Japan Pavilion, options like melon, that's the most popular one, strawberry, peach, and more. The American Dream Slush at Fife and Drum in the American Adventure Pavilion. That's frozen Fanta Wild Cherry, vanilla ice cream, and frozen Fanta Blue Raspberry slushes. And the new Frago, aka Gelato Float, at Gelateria Toscana inside the Italy Pavilion, which is made with root beer and vanilla gelato. Now, have you ever been in line for, Rise of the Resistance in Hollywood Studios and it breaks down on ya? Or has that happened to you twice in a row? 'Cause it has for me. And that's frustrating when you've already been waiting in line for quite a while. I know I'm picking on Rise of the Resistance particularly, but ride breakdowns don't just happen in Galaxy's Edge. Some rides at Disney World are just more prone to temporarily shutting down than others. Occasionally, when this happens, cast members can issue a lightning lane to make up for the time you lost waiting in line. This isn't a guarantee though, and if it does happen, lightning lane redemptions are usually only issued for those who are just about to get on the ride or who are in the middle of their ride through when things go haywire. If you're in line when a ride breaks down, set a timer so you can keep track of how long you're willing to wait. When it goes off, it's time to move on. Most of the time, a ride will reopen later on in the day and you'll have another chance to hop back in line and try again. But I do have to warn you, sometimes a ride will have a malfunction that can cause it to close for much, much longer, maybe even all day. Just don't let said closure ruin the rest of your time in the park. Jump in line for other rides, go see more shows, and keep an eye on the My Disney Experience app so you'll know if and when the broken down ride goes back online. The Advent Health team has partnered with Disney World to provide you with healthcare services directly through the My Disney Experience app. And this is very, very important to know in case you happen to need a doctor while you're in Disney World. You can schedule a virtual healthcare visit through the app as long as you're dealing with a non-urgent medical concern. That way you can have a doctor's appointment without ever having to leave your hotel room. This is super, super handy, believe me, as someone who has had to go to urgent care several times when I've been in Disney World. But there's another way to schedule a doctor's appointment without having to leave your comfy hotel bed. The recently launched Doctor to Me program is a house call service that brings a doctor directly to you. Makes medical treatment faster and easier to handle than an hours-long wait at the ER or urgent care. This program doesn't just cater to Disney World guests, it also reaches out to Good Neighbor Hotel guests and Universal Studios guests, and even Disneyland guests. You can make an appointment anytime and any day of the week by going to the Doctors to Me website and clicking on the Get Care button. Now, please note, I have not used this. This is not something that I am advocating for. This is not an ad. It's just something that we happened to notice was set up, so we wanted to let you know about it. And if any of you have used it and have, good or bad reviews, please let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. Since many of the tools you're going to need for planning your Disney World vacation are housed within the My Disney Experience app, you're having to trust this piece of tech with a good chunk of your Disney vacation details. And you'd think that kind of pressure would switch the My Disney Experience app into high gear to make sure it never ever lets you down. But instead, it can snap under the pressure, much like all of us. Meaning it can experience glitches that could thwart your lightning lanes and your mobile orders and your reservations and all that fun, important stuff that'll make you want to pull out your hair if it just suddenly, poof, disappears from your app. Which is why it's so important to take screenshots of everything you do on the My Disney Experience app. You booked a lightning lane, screenshot it. You snagged a spot in a virtual queue, screenshot it. You enter into a restaurant's walk-up wait list, screenshot. Showing a cast member screenshots that were taken of your My Disney Experience screen seconds before disaster strikes will make it so much easier on those cast members over at Guest Relations to correct a situation for you post-glitch. So if you choose to drive yourself to the parks instead of taking one of Disney's complimentary buses or other modes of transpo, you could end up parking at the very back of the lot, really far from the park entrance. Luckily, Disney offers parking trams in those parking lots. Sometimes it might seem like a good idea to just walk to the entrance, especially when the parking tram isn't already right where you parked. However, that means you're just adding steps to your already step-filled day. Trust me, I've regretted walking out to my car instead of just waiting for a tram before, only to remember I was parked way out in the boonies of the lot. And if my feet weren't already killing me before, after an 8-hour park day, they certainly felt like they were about to fall off when I finally made it after a good 15 plus extra minutes of walking. So take advantage of the free theme park transportation and let those cast member drivers take you up to the front of the park and back to where your car is parked at the end of the day. Or at least don't forget that you have that option. You don't have to do it, but don't forget that you have the option. Now, because we love beignets so much, like so much, it's vital for us to know exactly where to find these indulgent little pastries at all times, and therefore it is vital for you as well. Let's dive into everywhere you can find beignets on Disney World property. First, Scat Cats Club Cafe and Lounge at Port Orleans Resort French Quarter. This is dedicated to serving up unique to the resort beignets. The cafe is going to serve Mickey beignets and seasonal specialty beignets all day long, but you can find savory and even boozy beignets at the lounge component of Scat Cats when it opens in the evening, starting at 5 p.m. Tucked into the back of Epcot's France Pavilion is a charming bakery called Les Halles Boulangerie Patisserie. I think I've talked about it once or twice on this channel. That's packed with truly tasty treats, both sweet and savory, and very authentic. Sometimes you're going to find classic beignets here, but other times you'll find specialty ones filled with chocolate and hazelnut spread or other fruit and custard fillings. Now, note, these beignets are authentic to France, but they look kind of like donuts to us, like filled jam donuts. But they claim they're beignets. I believe them, and usually they have Nutella in them. Now that Tiana's Bayou Adventure has taken over Splash Mountain in Magic Kingdom, some of her delicious recipes have popped up in Magic Kingdom too, including her man-catchin' beignets. Lottie said it, not me. Golden Oak Outpost is located in Frontierland, steps away from Tiana's Bayou Adventure, and offers up Tiana's famous beignets, which are light and sweet and fluffy and topped with powdered sugar and drizzled honey. And finally, the Friar's Nook in Magic Kingdom's Fantasyland also serves up Tiana's famous beignets, probably for a limited time, but we'll keep an eye on it for ya. Disney hosts 4 Run Disney races throughout the year: the Walt Disney World Marathon weekend in January, the Disney Princess Half Marathon in February, Springtime Surprise in April, and the Wine and Dine Half Marathon weekend from the end of October and into early November. Now, these races can be a lot of fun, and you don't have to be a competitive runner in order to enjoy them. I have run in these races, and I am most surely not a competitive runner. However, there are some major pros and cons when it comes to race weekends. First, the cons. Run Disney races come with their fair share of really bad traffic on the morning of the race, so you're going to have to factor in plenty of extra travel time to accommodate delays. And that goes for those who are driving themselves to the parks parks, as well as those who are relying on bus transportation too. Because Disney has to close a lot of the streets, like those little highways around Disney World property for the runners. And so you're going to have some major delays. I've sat in traffic for 30 minutes to an hour on a race morning before, so just be prepared. And another thing you can expect on race weekends, crowds, lots of crowds. To be fair, the crowds probably aren't going to show up in the parks until after the races are wrapped up. So if you are visiting on a race weekend, but not participating in the race itself, plan to go as early as you can to beat the runner crowds who will flood into the parks after all is said and done. Okay, now here's one of the big Run Disney pros as a non-running guest. You see, there are a few nights out of the year where you can find Trader Sam's relatively empty, and those nights happen before the Run Disney races. Yep, most of the Disney World runners on these nights are snug as a bug in their hotel rooms, ready to rest up well for that early wake-up call and long-distance run that'll take place the next morning. And while partying it up at Trader Sam's and Disney's Polynesian Village Resort might be an awesome way to celebrate post-marathon, most runners probably aren't going to pregame that 5 to 10K race with an alcoholic tiki treat. So if you just so happen to be in Disney World during a Run Disney weekend, but you're not going to be in the races, enjoy a drink for our runner friends out there and take in all the chill Trader Sam's vibes while you're at it. So even though the new Villains Land coming to Magic Kingdom isn't going to be something we see for several years down the line, that doesn't mean all the rides in Disney World now are totally scare-free. You've got some fearsome rides that spell it out for you, like Haunted Mansion or Tower of Terror, but other rides seem completely kid-friendly from the outside, and then bam, you'll get on the ride and suddenly you're hit with a rather terrifying and totally unexpected surprise, like the blast of air at the conclusion of Journey into Imagination with Figment that's accompanied by a very loud noise, or the gigantic Ursula animatronic in Under the Sea, Journey of the Little Mermaid, or even the sudden drop that happens on Rise of the Resistance. Spoiler alert. If your kid tends to be apprehensive about rides already, take some time to watch some of those ride POV videos that our friends over at allears.net have featured on their YouTube channel so that you and your kid can get a better idea of what to expect from certain rides ahead of time and figure out which rides you might want to skip out on altogether. I used to do this with my son all the time, and there were several that he decided he was not ready for. But unfortunately, I did not watch through the Big Thunder Mountain in Disneyland with him when he was 2 years old, and he decided he never wanted to ride another ride again. I shouldn't laugh, poor kid. All right, Disney's ultra busy times of the year are usually pretty easy to pinpoint. I'm talking major holidays, long weekends, spring break, whenever your kid's out of school. Anytime that schools have an extended period of time off so that the kids can go play without missing out on their math and English lessons, that's going to be crowded in Disney World. But sometimes there are other more under the radar events happening that can also come with unexpected crowds. Now, we just mentioned this with those Run Disney races, but another major example of those sneaky crowd-drawing events are the athletic competitions that are held at the ESPN Wide World of Sports complex in Disney World. The complex is huge and hosts events that feature thousands of athletes each year from multiple sports. You got cheerleading, soccer, baseball, more. One of those athletic competitions up on the 2025-26 docket is Ripken Baseball, a youth baseball organization planning to host premier youth baseball experiences at ESPN Wide World of Sports Complex. In addition to the competition, the experience includes leisure time for players and their families to explore the Disney parks, which means a bump in crowds could be possible throughout the tournament. The tournament dates for 2025 are the weeks of June 8th, June 15th, June 22nd, and July 6th. Specific dates for 2026 are going to be announced later, so if you're planning a Disney vacation for the summer of 2025, keep in mind that you could experience some extra crowds from this tournament and potentially other things going down. In particular, you may want to be mindful of booking a stay at Disney's All-Star hotels during some of these athletic events, because athletes that are in Disney World for competitions often stay in the All-Stars due to their proximity to the ESPN Wide World of Sports and their value price point. Is it worth spending more money on Skyliner hotels just for the Skyliner itself? Well, for most folks, the answer is automatically yes, absolutely, due to the Skyliner's convenient transportation to Hollywood Studios and Epcot with the best bird's eye view across this section of the resort area. Plus, the Skyliner is super fun. But for others, the Skyliner might not live up to the hype. For instance, if you're visiting Disney World and there's severe weather in the area, the Skyliner is going to be closed. Instead, you'll just have to take a bus and miss out on the transportation perk altogether. The Skyliner does go up above the roads in Disney World and gets up to about 60 feet above the ground, so if you have any kind of fear of heights, you're not going to want to ride these sky gondolas, most likely. And if you're visiting in January, the Skyliner usually closes for about a week or two for routine maintenance. As we mentioned earlier on, you'll want to check the Disney World website for updates on when you might be able to expect closures for the Skyliner next year. Okay, so heads up, Disney is scavenger hunt happy through their parks and resorts too. And I can't blame them. Scavenger hunts can be a fun and cheap or free way to explore parts of Disney without standing in long lines to do it. When you're at a resort, you can always ask the front desk if there are any scavenger hunts available that you can take part in. They might even give you a little surprise if you complete it. But around the parks, here are the different scavenger hunt-like activities you can participate in. At Magic Kingdom, there's the Interactive Voyage, a pirate's adventure, Treasures of the Seven Seas in Adventureland. Over by the Tangled restrooms, you can also hunt for a bunch of hidden Pascals. There are 10 in total. There's also the Smellephants on Parade over in Storybook Circus, which is great for little kids. Pick up a map by the entrance to Big Top Souvenirs. At Animal Kingdom, there's the Wilderness Explorers badge collecting. At Hollywood Studios, there's the little hidden secrets you can unlock around Batuu by using your Star Wars data pad on the Play Disney Parks app. Or if you purchased a Magic Band Plus, you can partake in bounty hunter missions over in Galaxy's Edge 2. And at Epcot, well, Epcot is Scavenger Hunt Central. You can find a whole bunch of stuff. You got the DuckTales World Showcase Adventure, which is happening year-round. You can find it for free on the Play Disney Parks app, too. The Kid Cot stops where kids can pick up activity passports inside each pavilion. Dory's Friends Scavenger Hunt is inside the Seas Pavilion. And for an extra cost, you can purchase festival-specific scavenger hunt boards to compete for fun exclusive prizes at Epcot's 4 festivals throughout the year. Now, for anyone who's planning on bringing umbrellas or metal straws or glasses cases or anything with metal properties into the parks or Disney Springs shopping district, this tip is for you. Disney World security uses fancy metal detectors so you can bypass the long, tedious process of having to get your bag checked. You'll simply walk through the detector, wave at the security guard all nice and friendly, and be on your merry little way. But these metal detectors tend to go off when the items I just listed off are still hiding out in your park bag, and that means you're still going to have to go through the more thorough bag check procedure just because of your metal water bottle or your external phone charger, etc. If you're carrying any of these items, make sure to remove them from your bag and hold them out in front of you while you go through security. The machine will still beep, but hopefully security will be able to see what you're holding and wave you through. Sometimes, even if you do all the steps right, you still might have to go through a more thorough bag check, which is okay if it happens. We're glad Disney's keeping everyone safe, but I feel like I'm always setting off the sensors and getting a deep dive bag check, even though I'm carrying all my electronics, metal items, and emotional baggage, everything I can think of out in front of me. Alas, not the end of the world, and the security cast members are always really nice. You're going to find out pretty quickly that not everyone wants to ride Dumbo the Flying Elephant for the 5th time in a row, or dine at 50's Primetime Cafe, the restaurant that's both entertaining and way too overstimulating for some of us. And you know what? That's okay. Splitting up with your group for a little bit can be the difference between having a great day or ending up in some kind of a passive-aggressive standoff with your family. Disney is way more fun when you let everyone enjoy their individual interests. Just come up with a game plan where you can all reconvene at a later time. So Disney is bound to make you feel like a kid again. That's what it's supposed to do in more ways than one. At the park quick services, both kids and adults are totally allowed to order off the kids' menus, which could prove to be the perfect happy medium for grown-ups who aren't always necessarily hungry but need a little lunchtime pick-me-up at a more affordable price than the adult entrees. Plus, these kids' meals usually come with a drink and a side. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Now remember, you're not going to be able to order off the kids' menus when you are sitting at table service restaurants, but at those fast food joints, you can absolutely order a kids' meal. So I don't know if any of y'all have ever worn those funky looking cooling patches around the parks before, but we have, and we have some thoughts. Cooling patches are small strips of gel stuck to a gauze-like mesh on one side, and the other side sticks to your skin and is covered in a peel-away plastic until it's ready to use. You can wear these things in a variety of places, like your upper chest or across your back, or maybe even your forehead if you're trying to launch a new fashion statement. But overall, these little guys can be really handy during your park day since they're lightweight and you don't have to recharge them like a portable fan. Now, if you've seen the Disney Park fireworks once, or maybe even a dozen times over, you might want to consider skipping them to take advantage of the shorter ride wait times. I know, it's blasphemous, and you can totally ignore me if not seeing the fireworks is an absolute no-go in your book. However, while everyone else is oohing and awing up at the sky, you could be enjoying, say, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train in Magic Kingdom or Frozen Ever After in Epcot with a much shorter wait than you'll find them to have during the day. And best of all, you won't have to pay for a multi-pass to cut down those queues either. So I know you think I'm just crazy for even suggesting it, but I'm just gonna Just gonna put it out there. One of the biggest ways to put an immediate damper on your day is to walk around Disney World's parks and back to your hotel with completely soaked through shoes and socks. Like, that's a day ruiner right there. So when we learned about these silicone waterproof shoe covers, which are made of this like stretchy silicone material with grooves at the bottom for extra grip and support, we were like, we have to try these. One of our DFB reporters sported these stylish dudes all day long during a hurricane in Magic Kingdom. Yep, she wore them during Hurricane Debbie. And not only did they protect her from the falling rain, but they also protected her from puddles that were so splashy that they normally would have soaked her shoes. A lot of people don't realize that Disney World actually does flood in many areas of the parks, especially when there's a ton of rain. So these were just lifesavers. In the end, they look kind of funny, but they sure worked, and now our whole team loves them. They're about $17 on Amazon and come in a bunch of different sizes and colors. So you've just landed at the Orlando International Airport. How are you getting to Disney World? Well, you got your classic options like ride shares, shuttle services, or rental cars. But have you ever thought about renting an SUV? For about $160, you can book a private SUV through Mears that will whisk you and your family of 4 straight to your Disney resort. If you choose the Mears Connect shuttle instead, things will be cheaper, costing around $64 for your hypothetical family of 4. However, with the SUV service, you're paying more for the convenience factor of things. Your driver will meet you over at baggage claim and help you to load up your luggage in their vehicle. And yep, they've got car seats available if you need them too. Unlike the Mears Connect bus, where you might have to wait for it to arrive and then make multiple stops at different hotels, your SUV takes you straight to your resort on your timeline. No detours, no delays, just a smooth direct ride to your destination. So you'll definitely be checking into your hotel while the bus folks are still en route. Now, I could have expanded this Disney World script with 50 more points since we're always learning something new that helps us immensely with our Disney World vacations. So I do solemnly swear to keep giving you the most important Disney World tips and tricks out there in future videos to come. And don't forget to pick up your free Disney World planning worksheets at disneyfoodblog.com/DisneyPlans. Thanks for listening, everyone, and thanks for watching. As always, this is AJ for Disney Food Blog, and we'll see you real soon.